Hi and welcome to the second episode of the Nakshatra series. Today, being the day of Hasta, we are going to discuss, what are the personality traits of a person in Hasta? What are the careers that one could choose? When Moon is in Hasta Nakshatra, what is the career that one could choose? So let's move on to the discussion with Anand and let's see what Anand has to say about this. Let's continue with our Nakshatra series today.
Yes.
And now today being the day of Hasta, which also is represented by the hand.
Yes.
So let's discuss more on Hasta Nakshatra and what it signifies. Last week was a very interesting session on personality traits and those sort of
Yes.
things. So maybe you can give us some insights into what Hasta is.
Yes. We'll again take some interesting celebrities and then try to decode what is Hasta. And last time we talked about Revati, 12th house. Diametrically opposite 6th house is Hasta. So we'll today talk about Hasta. So Hasta, as we all know, is represented by the palm, the hand, the projection of the hand, and what is in the hand. So there is an interesting thing. Have you seen this movie Titanic? So if you see the poster, the poster is so it's a world famous poster,
Right.
and the actors in Titanic are
Hasta Nakshatra.
both of them, fortunately, are Hasta Nakshatra. So it's a beautiful thing that Kate Winslet is the entire movie is so beautifully done and depicting this very essence of Hasta Nakshatra. So, for example, they have an intimate scene in the movie where they're inside the car and the hand comes.
Right.
So the beautifully depicting Hasta Nakshatra, they are standing in front of the ship, and then both of them carry on with their romantic thing. Both of them representing Hasta Nakshatra. So it's beautifully captured in that particular movie, wherein it is so happened that cosmic. You may think it's a coincidence, but it's a cosmic design where even Leonardo, even Kate Winslet, both of them are Hasta Nakshatra, and the entire movie is sort of the picturization of the movie is represented by the hand. So that's how the powerful variety of the nakshatra comes out. So it can also mean that you want to cast in future movies, you want to cast and you want to select the directors of the companies and those kind of things. If you can spend some time figuring out whether this combination will work with respect to that particular nakshatra, it is beautiful. So again, another thing is that Hasta is the Dasha Lord is moon, right? So again, water, the movie is in the water, so something like that. So it's a beautiful representation of that thing. Another celebrity that we can talk about is say Madhubala. She is the what do you call the most beautiful actresses India has ever sort of produced, and so if you see Madhubala's pictures, so the old pictures and new pictures, or even Wikipedia, Madhubala is represented like this. So her the way that she is depicted is primarily hand.
Right.
So that feature kind of clearly communicates with a Hasta Nakshatra.
Or something where she's having a dance pose.
Yes. So even Anarkali,
Right.
so the Mughal, so the movie representation is with the hand. So this portion of Hasta, so something to do with hand, right? So we are talking about a software engineer, a musician, a keyboardist, a guitar player. So those kind of things, anything that has got to do with the hand, the artistic skill, the sketcher. So anything that has got to do with these 5 fingers and this depiction of the hand. So
A poet as well?
Yes.
Like
Poet
someone who writes.
Writes, yes.
Right.
So a person who writes
Novels.
and those kind of things, it's beautifully represented by Hasta Nakshatra. So another feature that comes out is it's in the 6th house. So there is a 6th house of illness, diseases. So for example, Madhubala, we can talk about she was born with a hole in the heart. So it's a typical condition, and then she has multiple times sort of thrown up on movie sets, spitting blood kind of a thing. So that 6th house of diseases is also pretty strong in this particular nakshatra, where it didn't.
So does that also correlate to someone using hands to heal, right?
Yes.
So
yes. The surgeon.
like a surgeon,
Yes,
or it could
yes.
also be like a person who does like touch-based therapies,
Yes.
right?
So sixth house of medical. So sixth house is the house of 12th house of hospitals, and who works in the hospital? Sixth house of the person who works with the doctor or the medicine or the paramedical guy or the nurse kind of a thing, and then sixth house of person who works with the hand. So typically a surgeon kind of a thing is beautifully depicted in this particular
nakshatra. So one other question is, it's also in the sign of Virgo.
Yes.
Right. Virgo, as far as I understand, correct me if I'm wrong. Is it? It's to take care of people.
Yes.
There's a lot of. It's a feminine sign, right?
Yes,
So there
yes.
is motherly love. There is
Yes.
a lot of. So that also somewhere does indicate healthcare and taking care of people.
Yes.
Like a nurse also could
Yes,
be in Hasta
yes,
Nakshatra,
yes.
right?
Paramedical.
Paramedical.
Yes,
So
yes.
I just wanted to reiterate that this is another career option, right? For Moon in
Yes.
Hasta,
Yes.
people can look at these
Healing.
all
Yes.
of these things. Reiki
Yes.
could be another
Yes,
option
yes.
where
But
people.
it's got to do with the hands
Yes.
and those.
And
kind.
also, a lot of people who have heard of craniosacral therapy,
Yes,
right, where they
yes.
use hand as a touch-based
Yes.
system to heal with diseases.
Yes.
So all of these could be career options for people who are Moon in Hasta.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Yes. So now we'll go to a different celebrity, Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda. So Hasta is ruled by Savitur. So Savitur is a form of Surya, again a form of the sun god, an extensive mention of Savitur in the Vedas. So it is believed and it is said that the portion of the sun which comes just before sunrise and just after sunset is called Savitur. So that is how the depiction of Savitur is, and we all know the Gayatri Mantra. So it has got to do with the intelligence, the brain, the super brain kind of a thing. And we all know about Vivekananda that he was super intelligent.
Right.
His memory was world famous, right? So he used to. There's a story wherein in a German what do you call lab, he was asked by a professor about a book, and then he didn't respond, and then he went and told him sorry and all that, and then he told him that I was reading the book, I was immersed in the book kind of a thing. Then he borrowed another book and he returned it next day. So the professor got slightly a little curious, He said, I finished the book. It's a 1,000-page kind of a book. And then he asked him a certain question from the book and he was able to reproduce that. So he's known for a super brain and memory. So from that perspective, he's a clear-cut representation of Hasta Nakshatra, the Lord Savitur, wherein we chant the Gayatri to sort of improve our brain. So it is advisable that anybody who has moon in Hasta Nakshatra should chant the Gayatri, especially in these hours. That is Sandhya Vandanam and then morning just before the sunrise kind of thing. It's a fantastic thing to do. Then we talked about compassion, right? The sixth house.
So before we move on, because we spoke about Gayatri, is it important to be initiated into the Gayatri, or can just one pick up the Gayatri mantra from YouTube and just start chanting?
Yes, ideally it is good to be initiated, but in these current times, we don't necessarily find a reasonably good person who can initiate. So it is not a very practical thing. So in case if that is the condition, then it's it is believed that the Divine Mother will come home to you if your devotion is very sincere kind of thing.
Okay. So it is not necessary that one.
Ideally necessary, but and our tradition says that it is Guru Parampara Shishya. So, but if you don't find a guru, or if you do not able to locate a guru, then it's there is no other option but to start chanting.
But one can always keep looking out so that they are initiated, so that the power of Gayatri essentially comes on to you.
Yes. So this Savitur, the brilliance, the memory, the wisdom, and all that, and then we talked about Vivekananda, the compassion. We talked about moon being the Lord, and then compassion. That's how nurses came in, right? So the brothers and sisters of America. So the compassion, Vasudeva Kutumbakam kind of a compassion comes out very, very strong in this particular nakshatra. So that is where the entire world is one. We are all brothers and sisters, and the dissemination of knowledge, the wisdom that is there, and that is what Gayatri is supposed to do. It's supposed to sort of intellectually stimulate you and then help you disseminate that to or the entire community kind of from a compassion kind of a perspective. So another theme which comes out very clear in Hasta Nakshatra is we take this celebrity called Lal Bahadur Shastri. So he was given this designation of Shastri, the ex-Prime Minister of India, Shastri, primarily because of his intelligence. So again, we talked about intelligence in Swami Vivekananda's case, right? So, and he started a movement called the White Revolution. So moon being the Lord, something to do with white. So this flavor comes out reasonably very well from his kind of a thing, from this particular nakshatra. So similarly, the Amul movement was started by Lal Bahadur Shastri, and it's a milk again to do with moon, and it was continued by Varghese Kurian, who was again Hasta Nakshatra. So it's a beautiful combination wherein the entire white revolution, the Amul Cooperative Society Federation, the milk, everything is related to white. Vivekananda, white wardrobe. So it's beautifully linked, saffron and white. So it's beautifully linked to this white kind of a revolution. So that's another theme which clearly comes out of Hasta Nakshatra. So from a practical point of view, Hasta Nakshatra natives, if they wear white kurtas, it is beautifully sort of connecting with that particular nakshatra kind of a thing.
So now, since you spoke about white, let's go to the other end of the spectrum, black.
Yes.
Right? Now, crow represents Savitur.
Yes.
Right? Lord Savitur is represented by the crow.
Yes.
Maybe can you, how does, crow is also known for its intelligence. Buddhi, right?
Yes.
So maybe something there that you could talk about.
So Ka generally, Ka generally represents soul, and then the Savitur, the sun, represents soul in our life, and it also represents our ultimate reality kind of a thing. And there is a beautiful connect there, wherein intelligence, wisdom, our soul, there is a beautiful representation by this particular crow. And all three are interconnected with this sort of thing. And we all know the story where the intelligence of crow is kind of exhibited with this pebbles water kind of a thing. Yeah. So that theme also is very, very sort of very clearly coming out.
So it's a very intelligent.
Yes.
So I just wanted to go back a few, trace our steps back. You said the Dasha Lord is Moon.
Yes.
Now, and moon is in Hasta now. Yes. That is what we are discussing. Yes. Does this mean the moon is strong when it is in Hasta Nakshatra?
No, moon actually carries the flavor of Hasta Nakshatra, who is lauded by Savitur. So Savitur's flavor. So who is Savitur? Savitur is the sun god, and the sun. It's in the 6th house. Right. So it will have some flavor of the 6th house. Sun god is primarily represented with a golden hand. So that is why this hand comes in. This constellation is denoted by Corvus. The 5 stars in the sky, so 5 fingers. That is where this palm sort of comes into picture. And then the sweet voice is also there. Golden tongue is also representative of Hasta Nakshatra. So where Madhubala's, if you have noted Madhubala's way of talking, it's like she's singing a song. So there's a beautiful tone in her speech. So with Revati, we talked about the musical flow of the talking, the way of talking. Here the tone, we are talking about the tone. So the tone itself is beauty. Right. So that is represented by the Hasta kind of a flavor. And lauded by moon, and that is where this water Titanic, and that is where the milk, the Milk Federation, Varghese Kurian, Lal Bahadur Shastri, White Revolution, all that
comes together.
White wardrobes and those kind of things.
All of that comes together.
All of that comes together. Yes.
Very nice. So now this is more on the aspect of career and how things are in. Last time when we spoke about Revati, we also spoke about relationships, right?
Yes,
so how does the mind being in, or the moon being in Hasta, what is its impact on relationships with the world as a whole, right? With your partner, with your colleagues at work, all of those things.
Yes. So 6th house is the 12th from the 7th house. So 7th house is the house of partner. So here the theme that probably comes out is Vivekananda was a youth icon at that point in time. He was known, descriptively, he was, awarded that position of a youth icon. He was also a brahmachari. So from that perspective, the concept of brahmacharya is reasonably very strong from a Hasta perspective. So from a relationship perspective, it is advisable that, if the matches are coming from relatives, because 6th house of relatives, if the matches are coming from relatives, it is fantastic for this particular nakshatra. So in case if there is a good match which is coming from your mother's side or father's side and relatives, those kind of things, it's a very good thing to happen for a Hasta Nakshatra.
Okay.
Kind of
So that is more on like from a spouse perspective,
Yes,
right? Like
yes.
what about at work? How are these people to work with? That
Yes.
sort of a thing.
So there is a theme of compassion that we talked about. That compassion is reasonably sort of, and this compassion is spreading out. It is not compassion for one or two people. It's a compassion which sort of spreads out. So that theme is reasonably strong.
Okay.
And the second thing is they are in the 6th house. 6th house is the house where people are reasonably aggressive. So the thing, the way they talk, the way they think, it's reasonably assertive, not aggressive. From an assertive point of view, the point that they make are reasonably strong.
Okay.
From that kind of.
Got it. So these are certain personality traits,
Yes.
right, that we spoke about. Is there anything else that maybe something
Yes,
something
a
very
few
peculiar
more,
to
a few
Hasta?
more flavors that comes in as 6th house is the house of apavrityu, unwanted, unwarranted, timely, untimely kind of a thing. So it's also the house of enemies. So you may have a lot of enemies and the hidden enemies and those kind of things. So there are some themes which, for example, Lal Bahadur Shastri ji, he was sort of his end came not in this country. So it's directly facing the 12th house. So it's outside this country kind of a thing. So and similar thing can be noted from a Subhash Chandra Bose perspective as well. Vietnam was where his end made. So, but there is a confusion regarding Subhash Chandra Bose's
Right.
timing.
Yes.
So either it could be Chitra or Hasta.
Okay.
But strongly it could be Hasta from that point of view, because this theme is clearly coming out from this perspective.
Very clearly.
Very clearly kind of a thing. Another thing, very beautiful thing is, so for example, Mahendra Singh Dhoni. So he has 4 planets in
Hasta.
no, in this particular 6th house
Okay.
of natural
In Virgo.
zodiac in Virgo, and then there are 2 strong planets which are in Hasta Nakshatra. We know all know that he is a
Yes,
wicket keeper. So
Right.
so that flavor is reasonably strong. Moon is in Uttara Falguni, and some people say it's in Hasta, but ideally it should be in Uttara Falguni. And there is a strong Gajekesari Yoga there as well. So Moon and Jupiter in Uttara Falguni,
Right.
and then Lagna and the Saturn in Hasta Nakshatra. So clearly representative of the hand.
Wicket keeper.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that is what is making him.
Yes.
Also, him with the bat.
Bat as well,
Right.
yes,
So that is what is essentially.
That is the
bringing
flavor that's coming out of
out
the,
right.
the nakshatra kind of thing.
So it's beautiful, right? Like how Anand mentioned that Hasta basically represents the hand, and if you see, there is a lot of correlation of how a person's career may be related to what the hand represents, right? So if you look at MS Dhoni, he is a wicket keeper, right? So Moon being in Hasta Nakshatra also signifies intelligence, right? So if you look at Swami Vivekananda, like Anand mentioned, one has a sharpened intellect when Moon is in Hasta Nakshatra. So these are the few pointers that you could pick up from the video and decide what you would like to do in your life based on what are the planetary positions. If you would like a complete reading, I would suggest log on to jothishi.com. Thank you for watching this video.